So my name is Ryan Lee. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah, the beautiful Wasatch Mountain Range, and my business is financial strategy with Cashflow Tactics.
My name is Brad Gibb, and I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah, and with a business partner I run a company called Cashflow Tactics, where we teach the only financial strategy aimed at building cash flow and helping individuals become financially free in 10 years or less.
My name is Jimmy Vreeland. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I run a turnkey real estate investment company.
So my life before was to a breaking point, honestly. Before coming to working with Bryan and his team, I had a business that was successful. The success that I had though was all word of mouth and referral, and it was all one-on-one, and we got amazing results, but because I couldn't really control my marketing and because I was stuck in one-on-one, I had to take feast or famine whatever came my way. And I didn't feel like I could go any further because I didn't know how to market. I didn't know how to get a message out there, although inside I had just an internal drive to be able to get a message out that I care about and that honestly makes an impact in people's lives.
So before coming in contact with Bryan, his team, and the Perfect Funnel System process, our business was going well. But what we wanted out of it was we didn't want to just continue to serve everybody. We had a very specific message, and we had a very specific person that we wanted to influence and make a difference for. And we were stuck between the day-to-day running of our business and trying to figure out how to create a message, create an influence, and get the expertise that we've built over the last decade or more out to the marketplace.
My life was a lot of dreams and aspirations, a lot of reading podcasts, a lot of inspirational speeches, a lot of me thinking I had great ideas, and the world wasn't ready to hear them, and that it wasn't the fact that I didn't deliver well or that I could not create a message for a mass audience. And so that internal frustration in my own mind about a stand I wanted to take and a message I wanted to bring, it did affect me personally, but it also affected my business. My business, it was idling. It had customers, but it did not have committed customers. It didn't have my ideal customers. And so it was missing a little bit of the passion that I have now.
So the biggest problem that I faced in my business was not having a complete front-to-back marketing strategy, not having the ability to go out and deliver a message with a brand, with a theme, with an education platform, everything that comes with a front-end marketing platform. I had little bits and pieces, and because I had bits and pieces, it was sporadic. The success that I had was sporadic, it was intermittent, and it was I couldn't measure it and I couldn't count on it. So the biggest problem that I had was just uncertainty in the flow of business for me and the clients that I would work with.
The biggest problem that stood in the way of us being able to do that really was the success that we were having in our business. We were so tied up and busy and doing what we had always done every day that anytime we took time out to focus on marketing, one side of our business would tank. And when we got marketing up and running, it would completely overwhelm us on the implementation side of our business. So we couldn't continue to teeter-totter between spending time in marketing, which is a full-time, constantly on process, as well as doing what we love inside of operating our business.
Creating a coherent message and being, even for myself personally, saying, I'm taking this coherent stand. I had a bunch of ideas floating around in my head and in my business, and there wasn't anything, you couldn't look at my marketing message or my business and really understand what we did.
So this has kind of been almost a 3-year journey for me before I got here to Perfect Funnel Systems. And the path that I was on is, I first decided that I was going to become an expert in my field, which I did. Got amazing elite results for the people that I worked with. And as I did this, I was very passionate about the message that I had to share because it was making an impact and a positive difference in people's lives. So I wanted to take the message further and farther, and I spent more and more time developing the expertise and then applying that expertise with clients on a one-on-one basis. But I got to the point that I realized that there was a cap to my time. I just could not take on any more clients. And I wanted to find a way to scale my business. And so to try to figure out how to step into the world of marketing and scale, I first read a book that led me to join the group of ClickFunnels. We started using ClickFunnels, which was an amazing tool to help get me online. But so much of what I learned in ClickFunnels, I was trying to do myself. And in the beginning, this worked to get me going. But again, now I had a full-time job meeting with clients and a semi-full-time job trying to figure out how to build funnels and market a message. So soon after that, I decided to start looking to hire people. And the challenge with everyone that I hired was they didn't understand my business. They didn't understand me. They didn't understand what I was trying to do. And in the space that I'm in, I take so much pride in being the exact opposite from traditional, normal business suit finance. And everyone that I brought in tried to market me as that. And so it was in this constant battle. And I went from outside agencies to retainers with partners. And the deeper I got with these people, the more I felt like, man, I should just go back and do it myself again. I had just as good, if not better, results when I was just doing it myself. And so I got to the point where me and my business partner, we wanted to just shut down the marketing and just decide to go back to working with referral-based business only. I had met Bryan a couple of years ago when I first got into the marketing world, and I wasn't ready to work with Bryan at that time. And when I met Bryan and I saw the breadth of what he did, it honestly kind of intimidated me. But at this point, I came back in contact with Bryan, and I was completely ready to be able to partner with him and with a system that could not only help me with building the funnels, which was the easy part, but really nailing down the branding, the messaging, the platform, the system, and from front to back, tip to tail, everything that was needed to take a consistent message to the marketplace with a powerful, powerful product behind it.
So what attracted us to Perfect Funnel Systems and to Bryan and his team was we tried hiring contractors or people piecemeal here or there in the past. And while we got good service, what was missing was somebody that would come in and take ownership of the process and take not just tasks off of our plate, but take the strategy, take the optimization, take the everyday paying attention to what's going on off of our shoulders so that I could be full-time invested in what I'm good at and what I enjoy doing. So we needed somebody that wasn't just gonna be proficient at tasks we could sit there and come up with and figure out and give to them. We needed somebody bringing us proactively the solutions that we needed to be able to run the successful front end of our marketing.
My two business partners knew who you were and had saw some of your results, and so I went off their referral.
It was a big jump. Honestly, the biggest obstacle for me was just making that commitment. I mean, the best way I could think about it was kind of like a marriage, right? When I decided, prior to Bryan, I hired people and I paid them a retainer, which meant when it wasn't working for either one of us, the relationship stopped just like that. And there were pros with that, but obviously there were major cons. They weren't invested in my business. I wasn't really invested with them. I wanted a result, and if I didn't get it, it was done. With Bryan and partnering with his team, it really was a partnership. It was a long, lengthy commitments, and he was selective about who he partnered with, which meant that he was committed to results. And one of the things I love about the partnership is it's truly that. It wasn't just money regardless of results, it was money tied to results. And so Bryan took months, really months, to get in and understand what our business is, what our message is, who our avatar should be. And from doing that, he had just as intimate understanding of our message and what we do as I do. And up to that point, I had never had someone with a marketing mind on my team. And once Bryan got the vision of what we did and who we serve, he now could take the message and position us as the experts in the field. And so the biggest hurdle was just making the commitment to bringing on a partner in the business. But that was the biggest benefit at the same time, because the partner now truly cares.
Well, the first obstacle was, who is Bryan? Does he know what he's doing? Can he deliver what he's saying? And then the actually terrifying part was, let's say I made this investment, and let's say Bryan did deliver. Am I able to deliver? Am I a good enough leader? Am I a good enough businessman to be able to leverage the investment I made with Bryan? And then is my business systematized, and is it have enough processes to leverage the investment I made? So that with any business transaction, of course, there's the vetting of the individual making the offer. But then there was a vetting of myself to say, hey, could I actually leverage this investment? And that was the most nerve-wracking and terrifying part.
So for me, it was results. Everything I preach in this business is all about results. How I can get tangible, measurable, quantifiable results for the clients that I work with. And I wanted someone to get me results, which meant it couldn't have been their first rodeo. I trusted in too many people up to that point that had a good marketing message or had a good message that they could get results, but didn't really have a lot of proof behind it. Bryan had the proof. Bryan had the real experience, not only in his own business and what he had done, but with other clients that he had worked with. And so when we looked at what Bryan had to offer, the results that came with Bryan in his package spoke for themselves. And that was really what pushed us over the edge.
So what pushed us over the edge and really sealed the deal on working with Bryan and his team was the opportunity to not just hire them for a task to be done, but to feel more like we're in a partnership where he cares about our results as much as we do. So it was not just going to be another situation where I had to drive all of the decisions and all of the strategy and all the expertise forward and manage that process. I could really turn it over to somebody that I could trust, that had experience, that had results, and that would be running and bringing that and bringing those solutions proactively back to us.
A big part of it was the certainty that my business partner Brad had. I trusted Bryan, I saw Bryan's results, I believed in Bryan, but it was certainty from a business partner saying, the time's now, we can do this. Because my initial reaction was, I'll do this investment 6 to 9 months from now, I'm not ready right now.
So the development phase was just so inspiring for me. Honestly, I've been in the business now for 5 years, and because I was a referral-based person, right, I worked with anyone, right? And some of the clients that I worked with, I gelled with and they gelled with me, and some of the clients that I worked with, yes, I got them results, but I wouldn't say they were my ideal client. I dreaded calls from them. Working with Bryan in the development phase, we got clear on 2 things. We got laser clear on the message, not just to the head, but to the heart. What it is that people want, and then obviously how we can justify it logically, but getting clear on what the message was that resonates with people's true passions and desires. That was number 1, and that was powerful. Everything you see behind me, our brand, our imagery, everything was intentionally created to appeal to the emotional side of what people want out of their financial plan. So that was huge. But the second thing that was just massive for me, I didn't have a clear avatar. I didn't have someone clearly that I wanted to talk to. If people asked me who my ideal client was, it was just anyone that had money that wanted to talk. But working with Bryan, we got laser clear on who my ideal client is. Not only what they value, but who they are demographically, what they want to accomplish, what they resonate with. And once I got clear on that with Bryan and his team through that first experience, everything started to accelerate. I could now intentionally eliminate the people that I didn't want to work with, because honestly it wasn't serving me and it wasn't serving them. I wasn't giving them my best. But once I got clear on who I wanted to work with and the message, the business has just gone crazy.
The results we got were immediate, way faster than we had ever really expected, because just in the development stage, we had struggled so much formulating and taking the expertise that was in our heads, the knowledge we built, and putting that into a format that the market could understand. So right out of the gate, we got clarity, we got focus, and just in the interactions inside of our business, before we even got any marketing off the ground, we started to see amazing impacts in just getting that clarity and having somebody pull that information out of us. And then from day one, the very first time we started implementing marketing strategies, we immediately were attracting the type of client that we wanted to talk to. We immediately started to be seen as the expert and being positioned exactly where we wanted to be in the marketplace from day one. But then it didn't stop there. We weren't, even though we were getting great results, Bryan and his team were not satisfied with the initial success that we had. And on a weekly basis, we got new information, new tweaks, new advice to continue to make the results better. And then even took it further where he would come out and work with us on a one-on-one basis, additional intensives to continue to improve the process.
Well, there was big results inside the development phase, because we went from a big jumble of ideas and a big jumble of concepts to you made us focus and bear down on what was our message, who's our customer, and what is the stand we're taking. So even through the development process before we even launched, that was a huge return for me. Since then, these ideas have turned into a product that's profitable, and a product that gives me my sole purpose business. So I wake up more excited every day, because instead of a bunch of jumbling of ideas and why can't I deliver this message, is now I have a vehicle and a process to deliver the message, and now I'm able to go out and work for the stand that I've chosen to take in my business.
So through the launch until now, this has been the best part about working with Bryan and his team. It goes back to what I talked about earlier with the partnership. You know, it's one thing to get clear on a message. It's another thing to then take that message and put together a platform of education and funnels and all of that kind of stuff. But now, for me, I'm swimming in uncharted water, right? I've never ran perfect webinars before. I've never ran Facebook ads before. I've never optimized. I've never taken what I'm doing right now and been able to look at it from so many different areas of expertise, make the tinks and the tweaks that need to be made to continually, constantly improve, you know, not only the people that are coming, but the experience that they're having, the conversion rates, the close rates, everything. So the main benefit of the phase that we're in right now, the scale phase, is I've got Bryan constantly every single week in my business. In fact, Bryan has made 2 trips out from California to Utah to spend focused, targeted time with us to rework our messaging, to rework, you know, how our webinars put together, to rework the email sequences that we have, to make sure that what we have is humming like a well-oiled machine. What I love most about working with Bryan and his team is, you know, and this might sound cliche, but they care. It goes back to what we talked about earlier. They are truly a partner with me and my team. Their success is tied to my success. And I love that about working with you, because what it really comes down to is, you know, before there was always, you know, this sense of, there wasn't trust with the people that I worked with. It was just, I'm paying you to get me a result, get me a result. That's all it was. It was just a monetary transaction. With Bryan and his team, we're tied to an impact. And it's not just a financial result. Honestly, the financial results have been awesome, but we're tied to an impact. Bryan takes on clients that he believes in. He's an impact-driven individual, which I also am an impact-driven individual. And when the two of us are working together, we bring that in alignment, and our main goal and objective is to make an impact in the marketplace that we serve. And doing that together, using his expertise and my expertise side by side, has really been what I've enjoyed most.
What I love most about the process is, I mean, if we really boil it down to the implementation of tactics, there's lots of people that can create videos or create PowerPoint slides or do the underlying tactics. What I like working with Bryan the most about is he understands and can explain to me the strategy element of it and how all the pieces come together. And when we say this is what needs to happen, I know that all of the details, all of the pieces are going to be taken care of. And it's not just Bryan. Bryan brings any piece to the table that we need, whether it's video, whether it's copy, whether it's design. I don't have to worry about how it's going to get done. We just decide that this is what we want, and we're moving forward toward that objective, and Bryan handles getting the result.
I love the challenges. I'm a sales guy. I'm a very sales guy. I love one-on-one conversations are incredibly easy for me. And the reason I can get away with non-coherent thoughts is because one-on-one conversations, I can take one person on a non-coherent journey and still close them at the end for whatever reason. But if you are going after a mass market and trying to create a following and be a thought leader, it's an art. How long have we been working together? 9 months?
A couple months now. It's been less than 5.
Okay, so I mean, less than 5 months is what I've realized is that what Bryan does is an art form. Getting through a webinar and persuading people and showing that you know what you're talking about is an art form. I know there's a bunch of science in there, but the truly hard part for me is seeing the art. Just telling my own personal story, we took, what, 50 takes. And you know, I see your stories on your webinar, it looks easy, but it's truly an art.
I would say for me, the values have aligned in every way. I've never had a coach or a mentor like Bryan where some of our discussions, in fact, I would say half of our discussions aren't even about the business specifically. It's about the books that we're reading. It's about the family life that we have. It's about the exercises that we do. It's about the lives that we live outside of our business, but those lives correlate so directly with our business. And when I talk to Bryan, I see, you know, just like the avatar that I want to serve, Bryan and I are so in sync with the lives that we want to live, the impact that we want to make, and all of that in our personal lives translates over to our business lives. And I've really enjoyed that about Bryan and his team, is they're people that I like as friends, not just, you know, co-workers and then we're done. They're people that I like as friends.
One thing that was very important to us in picking somebody to work with us on this intimate of a level is that we had to have full trust in who they are. And we believe deeply in our message. We believe it's way more than just a service we're providing. We believe we're genuinely helping people. And very quickly it was apparent Bryan viewed what he's doing in his business the very same way. It wasn't just about bringing on another client. I felt at times like I had to sell Bryan on working with us because he spent time understanding our business, getting to know who we were as individuals and what we were trying to do in the marketplace. And he was evaluating whether our company and our way of doing business and what we were doing for clients aligned with him. And that spoke volumes to us because we want to work with somebody that has that level of integrity and that we can put our trust in.
Well, I mean, if we were creating a company to hose people or create an offer we couldn't fulfill on, I think you'd fire us. And so, you know, you start the entire process with integrity and honesty and really living out your soul purpose or something that you're passionate about. And so that gave me instant credibility with you. And that I was able to get excited. I always dreamed about creating a business like this, and then your system and you were allowed me to facilitate it.
You know, honestly, the life and my business now are in a completely different hemisphere. 6 months ago, I was scrambling around like a chicken with my head cut off, you know, waiting for the next referral to come in and trying to figure out how to piece all the steps together for my clients. And I had a system, but you know, because I didn't have it all mapped out and laid out from front to back and a marketing message and a platform for education, it was me hustling through a lot of the gaps that I had in my business. In the position that I'm in now, there's a complete funnel. There's one path for a client to walk, which means every client is getting a massive, like a positive experience. And it's not just positive for one person and negative for the next. It's a positive, consistent experience for every single client that comes through. I have a message and a funnel and a filter to put people through. And if they make it through the funnel, then by the time they get to me, they want to be there. And I want them to be there too, because we've intentionally weeded out clients and individuals that should not be there. So today I get to talk to amazing people in a way that I have never ever talked to them before. I get to show up and do what I'm truly passionate about, whereas before people only got to see that passion in very limited settings. And if they did get to see it, it was only done one-on-one. Now I'm able to train in a group setting. I'm able to make a massive impact in the marketplace. Every single week, Bryan lines up hundreds of people to listen to this message that I have to share. And that has been so validating, so rewarding, and honestly, it's opened up so much perspective of what is possible. So in the last 6 months, everything has changed about my business, from how I did it to who I talk to what I do is completely different now.
So in working with Bryan over just the last few months, my business and And funny enough, my personal life is almost unrecognizable. Before, we felt we were forcing our message, pushing and really just constantly pushing a rock up a hill. But now it feels like the marketing and the messaging and the branding and the community that Bryan has helped us to build is pulling us every day forward into our business, into the next piece of this. It's so much more enjoyable because I've got clients that are engaged, that feel like we align with our purpose, and every day it's a joy to wake up and do and perform in the elements of where my expertise is and what I really enjoy, and knowing that I've got Bryan there handling the pieces that are crucial and vital to keeping this going, but that I don't have to spend every minute worrying and stressing and tweaking things that are taking me out of my elements. So the peace of mind and really the satisfaction that comes from taking the expertise that I've worked so hard in my life to build, to see that impact so many lives and begin building a community and a culture and a following has been transformational.
Like, so the cash flow, the info side of our business is like fun. Like, I don't really sweat the info side of the business because you've created, and our team's created a business that is fun, that it's systematized and it's reproducible, and we try to get better every week, but it's fun. And now I'm able to focus on the fulfillment side of my business. That since I got a great team helping me with marketing and the sales, now I've been able to, the last 5 months, really dive deep into the operations and fulfillment of my business, because you're laying out for the marketing. I'm not trying to learn a new marketing technique. You're just telling me what to do, and then I go do it. And then life-wise, there's a confidence level I have now because I'm able to share a message.
So for anyone who's on the fence, it comes down to two things. It comes down to number one, results. You're considering working with someone because you're looking for a result that you currently do not have. If you are looking for a small result, Bryan probably isn't the guy for you. But if you are looking to make a massive impact, get a massive result, then Bryan is the person for you. And the second piece to this puzzle is the expertise. It's one thing to talk about results, it's another thing to be able to get results. Bryan has the expertise, like I said, both in his personal businesses that he's done for 15 years, the better part of 15 years, not just with himself though, but with hundreds of clients. People that he has helped take a message to the marketplace and rise up leaders and impact makers in the marketplace. So if you are looking for results and you're looking for someone not to just talk about it, but to lead you on a path that you cannot see yourself, then Bryan and his team are for you.
So if you're considering working with Bryan and his team and making this decision, I can't recommend him highly enough. The ease and simplicity, and really for me it comes down to the constant improvement and the fact that he's never satisfied with the results. He's messaging me and taking care of things and pushing forward our results constantly. And that really was the key element for me, that was the only thing that was going to drive our business forward. I needed a partner, a person that was vested in our message and building what we were doing in order for this to be successful and for it to be a partnership that worked out. So if you're looking for somebody to take that off your shoulders and move that forward so that you can be the creative, work within your business and have a little bit of time to enjoy life, then there's no one better than Bryan.
I'd recommend working with you because you see results. We saw your prior customers that also helped convince, but everybody you work with is getting results. So, and I'll be honest with you, when Bryan first dropped the initial investment on me, I shit my pants. So if you shit your pants after Bryan gives you an offer, you gotta look at his results. That's all I can say.